he has so much skill on this team that they can all make plays. Like we saw Robs do some aggressive plays. Obviously, he's more the passive lurker overall, but he still can do those aggressive plays every now and again. And obviously, Twist has that same quality. Rain can sometimes have that same quality, right? So it's not like he doesn't have any pieces that can do the same thing that as he does. Maybe he's just not very open to it because he thinks like he's supposed to be the one who dies, right, in those positions, and not necessarily his stars, right? So I at least understand how he got into that position. I mean, in terms of what you were saying about our expectations for FaZe, I think you're right. I thought it was slightly ironic that they were the ones who kind of started off shaky while all the new teams hit the ground running, you know, like an OG, like a G2, like all these new teams actually played well from the start, right? While FaZe had that rough start, had those overtimes on Inferno, didn't really get started, and even the big series wasn't particularly convincing. I think they're the most misleading, I guess, run that they've had. Like, out of all the teams, I think theirs is the most misleading because they obviously placed first in the end, but you know, it was very shaky at points. You know, they had that overpass game where they didn't turn up against Big, and then they had those overtimes. You know, so it could have been a lot more convincing.
They could have lost that series against Big if Surson just didn't run down mid with his knife out on like the 4th round.
Oh,
he had like his knife out or something. They peeked him with pistols, and it was just an eco round with the saved off from Brokey, and it was just like, why did Surson do that? And that's a completely different game because they got a few rounds off the back of that, and that was a 16-14 victory for FaZe. So that's one of those big what ifs, and I think Big could have they should have probably won that series if not for that. So.
Yeah, I think another point that you just brought up there, Striker, was maybe more assertive maneuvers from Rops. I think a lot of people noticed that, and that's really one of the things. If you were Rops in Mouse and you knew that you were leaving, right? Look, I don't want to say a player's intentionally play worse. I don't think he was, but I think you're less inspired, right? In a team when you know that you're leaving, you're probably going elsewhere. Whereas in this team, he was taking a lot more risks. He was going in front picks on his own, but then he was still doing the classic Rops lurking stuff, and that's what you want out of him, right? To be able to be dynamic in both of those.
Doesn't he have like 160 hours in the past 2 weeks or something?
Yeah, he's been grinding like crazy. That's actually something.
I'm saying he didn't have that before the majors now. I'm pretty sure he didn't have 160 hours.
Yeah, I don't know. That's actually something I am going to talk to him literally tomorrow, like in 14 hours time or something. I have an interview set up with him because I'm in Warsaw where they're boot camping. So I'm going to talk to some of these teams, and Robs is actually one of them. I am curious about this because I think you're right in looking in, you know, how he was playing at Mouse. Like, he's the star player. Like, he doesn't want to die, you know. He wants to be in all those positions where he can win the round first team, so he doesn't want to take as many risks, you know. So I can understand that and why he might feel a little bit more inclined to do that on this team, because it's not all on him anymore. He has Twist, you know, next to him. He has Rain, who can just like step up in these games. You know, he has Brokey, so he has a lot of other pieces that he can rely on, even if he takes, you know, one risk and plays one round more aggressive lurker, more like an aggressive lurker than the passive one that we're used to seeing from him. So I am hoping that he, in line with what I was talking about Kerrigan, I'm hoping he takes a little bit more initiative in terms of the lurking style, so that there is a bit more balance, you know, to this team, not just being the Kerrigan, being the guy in front, always executing into sites. Go on.